All right, thanks everyone for joining us. We're gonna get things started here with Becky Burleigh. Question, Becky is the vice president. Becky, obviously a tough first half for the team, but came out and seemed to control them a little bit more in the second half. Could you just give your overall collective thoughts on this one tonight?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, credit the Reign. They came out definitely on fire, and their shape gave us a bit of a problem. And I think that was on us as coaches. Like, we have to adjust to that a little bit sooner because their numbers were just overwhelming us, particularly in the midfield. And I think we've got to do a little bit better job of dealing with that as coaches to put our team in a better position to be successful.
Thanks, Becky. Julia, I'm going to leave your line open.
Thanks, Jackie. Hey, Becky, thank you so much for the time tonight. It half like you came out in a 3-back with Courtney kind of pushing up on the left side. Knowing what the Reign was bringing in terms of it, what was kind of the thought behind bringing that lineup tonight?
Well, actually, we started with 4 in the back, but I think their lineup was so fluid, their movement was so fluid that it made it a bit of a challenge, whether we needed to step up higher and absorb one of those players or allow her to, take a player running through the middle. And I think that's where the confusion lied for us. So again, credit the Reign for making that difficult. But once we switched shapes, I think that became a more straightforward matchup and allowed us to match up a little bit better with them defensively.
Bringing in Phoebe for that second half, just kind of what did you feel changed then? Obviously, the control really seemed to kind of level out. Just from your perspective, what was behind that shift in the second half?
Yeah, in the second half, we opened with a 3-5-2, and I really like that pairing of, the 3 backs with Amy Creeks and Phoebe. That's been a good 3 for us in the past. So I think that really helped solidify things. And plus, obviously, we had a chance to discuss things at halftime in terms of what we needed to do differently in terms of shape. That for sure was a big change. And I think you have to credit our team for solving that in the second half. I think we just have to get to a point as a coaching staff that we solve that on the field earlier, that we don't have to wait till halftime to make those kind of adjustments.
It had been a while since the strike, especially Sydney and Alex, as isolated they were tonight. What was causing that disconnect between the midfield and that forward line?
I kind of lost part of you on that question, but I think you said something about Sid and Alex together as a partnership.
Yeah, it just seemed like they were a little disconnected from the rest of the team up there, kind of left a little bit on an island, especially in the first half. What do you think was kind of behind just not being able to get the ball up to their feet?
Well, I think in the first half, it was a shape issue for us. We had talked about trying to push the weak side player in our 4-2-3-1 up higher to make it look like a 2 front during the week. But in the end, because the numbers in the midfield were overwhelming us, that was difficult for it to occur. So when we played 2 up top, where we actually, changed to a 3-5-2 and kept 2 up top, it was a little bit more effective for them to actually be able to work with one another. But I think even in the second half, there was some times where, we're trying to play a ball into them and then there's not enough support underneath them. And that's probably us just needing to have a little bit more sustained possession so that we can get the rest of our unit to catch up with the strikers.
Last one that I have, you've spoken before about how hard it is to sometimes pick a lineup with this team. Having Marta starting on the bench, kind of what was your thought process behind bringing her in as a second half sub? Was there an injury that was kind of happening?
No, it wasn't really an injury. I think Marta had really difficult travel coming off the international break. She met us here in Seattle, but she by far had the worst travel. Wasn't feeling great. And it was kind of a decision to not play her because Marta always wants to play. And when she says she's not feeling great, then you kind of have to take that to heart and do what's best for the player in that situation. But she did feel like she could contribute some, and that's why we brought her on as a sub in the second half.